right, guys, we are going to begin broadcasting here in about a minute on both of my Facebook pages. One that has been shadow banned. Let's do this, shall we? Hello and welcome to the show. It's me, Rob Carson, and this is, of course, called Rob Carson's What in the World? Welcome to the show. I'm broadcasting on two Facebook pages tonight. One of them has been shadow banned in the last 24 hours. That is Rob Carson Show. I can always tell when Facebook wants to F me over. They just kind of make me go away and make my views and stuff disappear, and it's not good. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hello, Randy. How are you? On Rob Carson Show, and Greg on the other one. Thanks for joining me tonight. Now, we do have some really cool stuff I'm going to get to here very shortly. And one thing I do want to mention is that I was just out today. I just went out today. I went to Walmart. And it looked relatively normal. About 1/3 of the people in the store were wearing masks. It was kind of nice. What the hell kind of country do we live in that going out and seeing people actually out is a relief, is like some sort of revelation that just seeing what we do on a Saturday normally is refreshing? Hello, Leslie. When I look at what has happened in the last month and a half, and I cried BS from the get-go, I'm just like, what have we done? What have we done to ourselves? We are seeing protests around the country, and for good reason. And the left in this country is trying to say that it is it's nuts that we'd be, going to beaches and things like this. And you know what? Honestly, and this isn't just and they're trying to paint it as some of a right-wing, whatever, to go out and enjoy your freedoms. It's not. It's just going out to enjoy your damned freedoms. And God dang it, to hell with this bullshit that we've gone through, that we had the NCAA tournament was canceled, the baseball season is not happening, you can't go to church, you can't go to restaurants. You're out of your goddamn mind. What the hell has happened to this country? Are you out of your mind? What has happened? And I said this from the get-go, and other pundits have caught up. This is not the Black Plague. This is not bubonic plague. This is not Ebola, which never affected this country. Are you out of your effing minds? What have we done? What have we done? What have people done to our country? What have people done to the world? Nonsense. Nonsense. And I'm going to tell you, I have lost friends over this. I have people literally tell me that, and I have had friends unfriend me on Facebook. I have had college friends. I've had friends that I've had for years who think I'm somehow insane, or because I didn't want the federal government to shut down the country, that I didn't want unprecedented rule of the country from the federal level. And literally, I lost friends because of this, and it's nonsense. There's a story that I mentioned March 17th. Biological engineer from Massachusetts, MIT, said that the pandemic is being used by the deep state bureaucrats to further their agenda. And this is going to sound all sorts of conspiratorial, and I'm not Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a douche. Shiva Andarai. said as an MIT PhD in biological engineering who studies and does research nearly every day in the immune system, and the hashtag coronavirus fear-mongering by the deep state will go down into history as the biggest fraud to manipulate economies, suppress dissent, and push mandated medicine, he wrote on March the 9th. And I said it right about the same damn time. In fact, I might even said it before he did. This is all nonsense. It's all nonsense. And you have seen people like Chris Cuomo and Tom Hanks, and you've seen others who've had this, and yeah, you're sick, and oh boy, I mean, yeah, you're sick, and there's some people who get really, really sick, and there's some people who would die, and then the same thing happens when you have the flu. Honestly, I hope that we wake up from this and we go, what the hell were we thinking? Got a lot of stuff that I want to share here, guys. Just a couple of things. Los Angeles, California, Los Angeles, 45% of the residents are out of work. They're out of work. There you go. Yeah. 45% in L.A. I went to work today for a little while. I didn't realize it was my day off. But I needed to get away. So I said, I'm going to work. And yesterday at work, it was almost normal. People got out. Today I went to Walmart and it looked normal. It looked good. Not everybody was wearing a mask. I rode in two Uber rides today. One guy had no mask. The other one was dressing like a hazmat Chernobyl first responder. And they said to the guy in the first car, he's not sick. He's probably 35 years old. And just ask him, he said, I'm not worried about this. I think it's bull crap. The other guy, he's just more concerned for I think the other guy, the second Uber driver, was more concerned that it would protect his business to be freaked out. And that people in the car would feel better if he was freaked out about it. Both cars, you couldn't sit in the front seat. New report from the governmental lab experiments show that coronavirus does not survive long in high temperatures and high humidity and sunlight. It's a vampire virus. I'm not sure exactly where this DHS. This is a statement to Yahoo News. The DHS declined to answer any questions with regard to the findings. But, it may or may not be true, but it appears... Oh, Alan, you suck. Rob, I'm lighting up a Rocky Patel Old World Reserve Maduro. Let's start the American economy now. Alan, when are we going to have a cigar, brother? When are we going to have a cigar? Oh, I am so jealous of you right now, my friend. Hello, Debbie. How are you? This has all been nonsense. To think that we as a country have gone through more than people did in World War II, more than people did during World War I, more than people did during the Civil War for this nonsense, and that so many people fell for it is unbelievable, and that I lost so many friends. Dear God in heaven. Marty on the other page at Rob Carson and Rob Carson Show. Hello, John. Hello. Share this show because I've got so much coming up. Oh, my God in heaven, we are going to have so much fun. Share the show now because you and I are going to have some fun. You and I are going to talk about this nonsense. Let's start with the president, and he's not nonsense. Let's talk with, we had quarantine protesters out over the last 72 hours, and because people are sick of this shit and they realize it's a bunch of crap. Today I went to Walmart and I was like, there's nobody, there are a few people wearing masks, and then it was like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Here is a report, or at least some footage from KTLA in LA. Protesters saying, you know what, we're tired of this crap and we're done with it. They're all a bunch of Trump protesters. They're all a bunch of right-wing lunatics. They made it sound like this is some sort of a non-organic protest, that it was created by Donald Trump, and it was not created. This protest was not created by Donald Trump. It was created by freedom-loving Americans who say bullshit. It was created by people who have common sense. None of this was directed by the White House. It's not like Occupy. It's not like Black Lives Matter funded by George Soros. None of that. This is organic. This is organic protest. This is what it looks like. And people are saying, we're done, we're done, we're done. Here's the president talking about governors in this country getting what he calls carried away. And I said this, there are a couple of things we've learned about this whole pandemic is that the government Democrats on the national level, they care nothing about forwarding a leftist agenda, and they do not care about the American people in their time of greatest crisis. And on a local level, they have become a bunch of tiny little dictators, whether that be governors or mayors. And here's what the president had to say about that.
I mean, I notice there are a lot of protests out there. And I just think that some of the governors have gotten carried away. You know, you have a lot of people that don't have to be told to do what they're doing.
Whoa. Wait. Here's a president saying that there are a lot of people who don't need to be told that they need to do whatever to survive. They know because they're smart. They know. Hello, my nephew Josh in Washington, D.C. God bless you, brother. I've been thinking about you every day. They know that personal responsibility is what we need to do, and all you need is to be told once. All you need to do is be told once. Hey, man, wash your hands. Hey, don't touch your face. You don't need the government to crush you to death.
And really doing everything we've asked, and we have a few states where, frankly, I spoke to the governors, and I could have gotten them to do, if I wanted to do what would have been perhaps politically correct. But they've been doing incredibly anyway. And as one of them said, everybody's doing exactly the same. In fact, our record is better than states where they're under a mandate or, you know, where they've agreed to do certain things. Now, we have some great states out there. We have incredible people in our country. And for the most part, that it's a strong statement, but I understand where he's coming from. And
yes, but there are some governors who have gone bat guano crazy. And they're all Democrats. And they're all Democrats. They have all used this as an opportunity, seized this as an opportunity to take over our lives. The governor of Michigan is a prime example. She is a psychotic helicopter mom from hell. Unbelievable. My nephew, who is in Washington, D.C. Hello, Jody. Hello, Paul. Betsy and Marty, all you guys joining me on both Facebook pages, whether it be Rob Carson or Rob Carson Show. Thank you so much. The governor of Michigan is a psychotic POS. And I'm going to also mention that this was China's fault. Right now, if anything, I hope that this has given us the opportunity to pause. Hello, Cheeto. What up, my friend? To pause and look at our relationship with China and all the glorious cheap stuff we get from China and realize the cost that it is wrought on us. China is not, they are an industrious people, but they are not an innovative country. China steals intellectual property, then enslaves its citizens to build the things that they stole. That's it. It is time to say Chuck Fina. If you'll notice my line of politically incorrect swag up here, Chuck Fina. In other words, China. Yeah, you can get that on T-shirts, on whatever. I've got my T-shirt coming. If you guys want to order it, please do. A variety of other politically incorrect swag as well at tpublic/conservatees. It's right there. You can't coexist with some people who want to kill you. Chuck Fina is all over the place. And honestly, put it on your phone, put it on your computer, your laptop case, put it on a T-shirt. Fuck China. China is a joke. Well, it's Chuck Fina. You're not going to have the other one. But honestly, To hell with China and what they've done and what they've done. Here is what the president had to say about China, and we should be done with China. The world has allowed China to become a superpower. China would never have been a superpower without stealing intellectual property and enslaving its people to build it.
Well, you know, when I listen to the press every night saying we have the most, we don't have the most in the world deaths. The most in the world has to be China. It's a massive country. It's gone through a tremendous problem with this, a tremendous problem, and they must have the most. We're looking at it. A lot of people are looking at it. It seems to make sense. They talk about a certain kind of bat, but that bat wasn't in that area. If you can believe this, that's what they're down to now is bats. But that bat is not in that area. That bat wasn't sold at that wet zone. It wasn't sold there. That bat is 40 miles away. So a lot of strange things are happening. 184 countries now are suffering because of it. And it's too bad, isn't it? And
yeah. And it's costing our economy trillions of dollars. And it's wrecked restaurants. And it's wrecked theaters. And it's wrecked resorts. And it's wrecked hotels. And it's wrecked everybody. And it's time to say bullshit. China's disappeared. At least one is dead, and the rest haven't been heard for in months. So why isn't the world asking what happened to the brave souls who dared to speak up about the coronavirus outbreak after Beijing lied to the world? Listen to this. The fearsome knock on the door came after nightfall. Outside were two men in hazmat suits who told businessman Fang Bin they had come to take him to medical quarantine. But the textile trader, a gangly man in his 40s, wasn't ill, and the men outside his Wuhan apartment weren't doctors. They were police officers confronting a menace the Chinese Communist Party had been grappling with as ferociously as the coronavirus itself. Ordinary people who bravely exposed the truth about the outbreak and refused to keep quiet. Mr. Fang's crime was to post a video he had filmed of people dying of the virus and the body bags piled up outside of a hospital clearly overwhelmed by casualties at the time when China insisted that the virus was under control. It was seen 200,000 times before censors took it down. They forced their way in and took him away for questioning, ordering to stop spreading rumors about the virus before confiscating his computer. He was later released in the hours of the morning. 1 week later, Mr. Fang posted another video, this time featuring a scroll of the paper bearing words, "Citizens arrest, hand power back the people." Hand power back to the people. The police returned, and he hasn't been seen for 2 months. He is one of 3 whistleblowers disappeared by the Chinese government for exposing the terrifying extent of the COVID-19 outbreak, which what Facebook has done to my show, what Twitter has done to conservative publishers. Facebook has done this to me and other publishers. They've done it. I could show you copious examples. Today on my Facebook page at Rob Carson Show, I have been shadow banned. I'm reaching 1 or 2 people, where I was reaching hundreds and thousands last week. Facebook has decided that I am no longer available. I disappear. I suddenly disappear. Their fate is unknown, but human rights groups believe Mr. Fang, along with lawyer Chen Guizhai and former state TV reporter Li Zhou, are being tortured and forced to write confessions in extrajudicial detention centers where, in normal times, Chinese police secretly terrorize lawyers and activists who are seen as enemies of the state. Wow. More than 5,100 people were arrested for sharing information in the first weeks of the outbreak. Dissidents are being labeled as sick so the government can place them in medical quarantine. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Health apps used by tens of millions to show they are clear of coronavirus are being used to monitor people's movements and further tighten control. This is happening in our goddamned country. The country's communist leaders were shaken by the national outcry, which saw the hashtag We Want Freedom speech shared 2 million times in the space of hours, but they had already embarked on a ruthless tightening of vice-like grip on social media with the first string of high-profile disappearances. My God in heaven. And it's happening here. It's happening in our country as well. Dear God in heaven. Wow. Before his disappearance, lawyer Shen Shiosi, whose videos of chaotic scenes in Wuhan hospitals with coronavirus victims lying in corridors were shared with an audience of more than 400,000 YouTube and 250,000 Twitter followers, went missing. His family was told the following day he was being held in medical quarantine at an undisclosed location. He told his followers, as long as I am alive, I will speak out. I will speak about what I have seen and what I have heard. I am not afraid of dying. Why should I be afraid of you, Communist Party? He vanished days later. 3 weeks later, Li Zhua, 25, a reporter with Chinese state TV, who went rogue to report on the death toll in Wuhan, live streamed his own arrest when plainclothes police officers arrived at his flat. Mr. Lee made a point of telling viewers he was healthy and well before he was taken away. I'm sure they want to hold me in isolation, he said in a panicked video clip as he sped away from the Institute by car. Please help me. God damn it. Francis Eve, Deputy Director of Research at Hong Kong-based watchdog Chinese Human Rights Defenders, CHRD, said everyone who has disappeared is at high risk of torture, most likely to try to force them to confess that their activities were criminal or harmful to society. Another critic, silenced by China's leader, is law professor Zhu Zhengrun. I don't know these names, sorry. Put under house arrest in Beijing. Had his internet access cut off after writing a serious critique of Xi Jinping's handling of the crisis, which included his prediction, "This may well be the last piece I write." Wow. And the Democrat Party is in the bed with him. Unbelievable. Hello, Glenn. Hello, Carol. How are you tonight? Welcome to the show. And Jennifer and Chad and Mark. On both of my Facebook pages, Rob Carson Show and Rob Carson. Wow. Wow. Did you realize there was a big star-studded gala last night supporting the WHO, the World Health Organization that helped China cover its ass? Did you know that? I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that so many people would be so tone deaf to an organization that bedded down with China. While the coronavirus spread, they bedded down with China. The leader of the WHO is a communist who has covered other pandemics in Africa, among other things. I'll get to that in a second. Here's a promo for the big W.H.O. concert. And what's really sad, it's a star-studded lineup, is that these idiot celebrities who we've tried to watch, sequestered in their mansions, everybody from, Elton John to Nancy Pelosi, and live in their, think about this. The Hollywood elite can skip a paycheck. Nobody in government has missed a paycheck. No government bureaucrat has missed a paycheck. If anything, they become more valuable. If you work for the federal government, man, you are living high on the hog, baby. Because you are more essential than anybody could ever be working at Home Depot. I mean, majorly. Here's a promo for this idiotic, self-absorbed, stupid concert that was held last night. And by the way, aired on all the major networks. Unlike Donald Trump's press conferences, here it is. So self-important. The World Health Organization is more corrupt than the United Nations ever dreamed of. Not historic, not at all historic. I love this. I love this institutional music that makes it sound more important than it really is. Okay, I'm done with that. Let's move on to the performances, shall we? All right. Here is, and this is the reaction that people had online. Global Citizens One World Together at Home concert aired Saturday night. It raised $150 million for the WHO, which is a giant corrupt bureaucracy that the president said, F you, we're not going to fund it anymore. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom, who is a corrupt communist, delivered a video message during the concert. Outrage poured over social media for those who would fund this piece of shit organization. Yes, we need useless celebrities preaching to us how China isn't involved. It's not China's fault. And how we should just live as one nation, one scathing Amazon review said. No, thank you for this, WHO. That One World Together at Home commie propaganda sponsored by the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, WHO, and this global citizen bullshit. You could take your commie propaganda and shove it. This is America. Another person said the concert broadcast was carried on NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, NBC Sports, other cable. One Amazon reviewer said, if I could give it no stars, I would. WHO lied. People died. Let's not forget this. While we're at home giving up our freedom and most of us without jobs, these celebrities ask us to raise money for the WHO. Forget it. Tedros, the head of the WHO, former official in Ethiopia's Marxist Party with a PhD in community health, delivered a video address during the concert, which drew particularly harsh backlash. I'll share that in a second. Quote, disgrace. You have no ground to stand on after this episode. Failed to signal what was coming out of China, failed to confirm a pandemic until it was too late. You are behind the curve permanently. Here is this douchebag being celebrated by celebrities in the U.S.
Today, we come together as one to express our common humanity, to mourn those we have lost, to salute the health workers who serve us, and to say, with one voice, we shall not be defeated. COVID-19 has taken so much from us, but it has also given us unique opportunity.
Where is this douchebag from? Is he from a country that you would want to have the world lead? No, he's from a third world hellhole. A third world hellhole, and he is a failed Marxist. This is what happens with any international organization, whether it be the WHO, NATO, or the United Nations. They're all jokes because most of the world is run by despots, and they move these idiots to become class president, even though they have no cred. They are unfounded in their ability to do anything.
To put aside our differences, to break down barriers, to see and seek the best in each other, and to lift our voices for health for all, and to ensure this never happens again.
Yeah, you know what? When you're in charge, it will happen again and again and again. Here's Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga had a little message before. And this is the kind of people, these are the kind of people who are in charge of everything. These are the kind of people, weak-kneed, feeble morons who are in charge of all of this stuff. Here's Lady Gaga expressing her emotions for people she normally doesn't give a rat's ass about, and having an emotional breakdown before the concert.
Hey everybody. I know that Together at Home is just starting now, the digital stream, the pre-show, and I love you all so much. I love the world so much.
I love the world so much. You need to up your meds.
What Global Citizen has done with all of us, with the World Health Organization, is so beautiful. And
No, it's not. It's actually a very corrupt international bureaucracy that covered up for China's ass.
I'm so grateful to all the healthcare workers and the medical workers and all the grocery store workers and delivery people.
Which, by the way, you never go to grocery stores anymore at all. And generally, if you ever saw somebody working at a grocery store, you wouldn't care about them at all.
And the postal workers, all the other nonprofits that are working so hard. Hi, France. Hi, people from all over the world. I can see you.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't want to see you because you're a doofus. You're a doofus. Oh, here's Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder did a performance last night, and I'm just going to tell you right now. You listen. I love great performers. I love Stevie Wonder and Elton John and the Rolling Stones. Oh, the Rolling Stones totally kicked butt last night. I want to share some Rolling Stones here in a second here. And by the way, hi James and Alan. Who else is watching? And Dave and Jeremy. Jeremy Hansen. What's up, my brother? Jeremy Hansen. Here's Stevie Wonder performing last night. The camera's over here, but he's facing the other direction.
During hardships like this, we have to lean on each other for help. My friend, the late Bill Withers, has a perfect song about that. And I want us to remember him.
Is that Lean On Me? I'm thinking it's right.
Him tonight. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother. And you need...
Okay, just respect real quick here. Real respect beyond politics. Stevie Wonder as a performer is a god. I want to meet Stevie Wonder. I've met a lot of performers in my life. I want to meet Stevie Wonder. But politically, he's a little misguided.
Need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. Hey, we all need somebody to lean on.
Listen to that gospel chord progression. I'm kind of familiar with this stuff. Wow. Really cool. Really cool. All right, despite the misguided effort to raise money for the WHO, Stevie Wonder kicks ass. Here is, hold on. Here's Elton John. Elton John, he performing a little bit here.
This is for everybody out there who's been working on the front line 24/7. Thank you for all your expertise, your love, your care, your humanity. Thank you.
Best to pay ever.
Thank you.
You can never know what it's like. Your blood like when it freezes just like ice. There's the cold and lonely light that shines from you. You wind up like the wreck you hide behind that mask you use.
Can barely hear what he's saying at all. I don't even know what he just said there.
Get to think fool never went. Look at me, I'm
Don't think about to do that.
coming back again. Got a taste of love, innocent.
What did he just say? Just said, listen to that. Hold on one second.
Coming back again. Got a taste of love, innocent boy. You need to know I
don't.
still standing.
Well, hear that one more time.
Got a taste of love, innocent boy. You need to know I still standing. You don't say
Oh, think about it. They had no idea what he's saying, but my God, he's Elton John and he can say it. It's the song I'm Still Standing, which last night was I guess what he was saying. Anyway, Rolling Stones kicked ass. Rolling Stones kind of kicked ass. And I'm not, again, I think this whole concert last night was bullshit, but this is a pretty good version. This is the Rolling Stones. I believe it's You Can't Always Get What You Want. Damn!
Now you can't always get what you want.
Come on now.
Now you can't always get what you want.
This is freaking cool.
Now you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need.
Oh my God! Okay, that was freaking cool. That was really cool. It felt like you're kind of hanging out with Charlie Watts with his albums there. Just wow. Okay, that was cool. All right, politically we may disagree, but damn, that was good. Really, really good. Okay, let's move on to other stuff, shall we? Well, I have been banned by Facebook, and I am being banned by... Hello, Brandon. I am being banned by Facebook, and I get shadow banned occasionally. Twitter has decided to go after someone who made a parody of a campaign for Joe Biden. It was called Create Your Team Joe Meme. And it did not go as planned. And some people said, here's the deal. Why don't we go ahead and make Team Joe, I don't know, Chairman Xi Jinping. He's a member of Team Joe. Yeah, why not? I'm on Team Joe. Well, apparently Twitter could not handle it, and they took it down. They did not find the joke amusing, suspended the account Thursday night, according to reports on Twitter confirmed by Red State, though the offending tweet cannot be seen since the account has been suspended. Red State, an organization, included a screenshot of it in its report. The screenshot tweet in its story matches the one that Twitter users are beginning as one. Anyway, so basically, Red State put it up, and they had all these really funny ones about Team Joe, and Twitter pulled it down. This is what effing Twitter does. This is what effing Facebook does. This is what they do. They crush conservative publishers. You can't, it's China. It's China. All right? Facebook is effing China. You're watching me on Facebook right now. The other night, I had an episode of my show completely taken down. You are living through China. China exists in this country. China exists through Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. It exists. They take stuff down because they don't agree with you. It's bullshit. Nothing I do is inflammatory. Nothing I do is untruthful. None of that. None of that. But it's taken down. Nothing I do is untruthful. I don't lie to people. Lying doesn't do anybody any good. I don't do it. I shared some concert footage from a concert I don't agree with right there. All right? It was nonsense. The whole supporting the W.H.O. nonsense. But the performances, hell yeah. The Rolling Stones unplugged, fudge yeah. But I get banned because of my political views. Shameful, dear God in heaven, shameful. There's another organization I have worked for that is a social networking site that I would promote, but the guy who owns it is a liar. It is a non-political site, but I don't feel like I should promote that site anymore because every time I'm told by this publisher when I go to do my show, I'm never paid a dime. I won't say who it is, but you know who you are. When you provide somebody with a couple of years of free content, you never get paid. You know what? I ain't got time for you anymore. Listen to this. Bill DeBlasio asked the people of New York to rat out people. If you see people who are not observing social distancing or whatever, Bill DeBlasio has asked people to rat you out like a Communist Party official. This is beyond the pale. This is beyond the pale. I've got something I'm going to share with you about drones being used to police people. Oh, it's time for America to shoot drones out of the sky. Sorry. If it's a police or government drone controlling how you socially distance, it's time to shoot them out of the sky. Yeah. Here is Bill DeBlasio saying that you should rat out your neighbors for not social distancing or even having barbecues together or just being around others.
New Yorkers, you have been extraordinary at social distancing. And let me tell you, it has taken every fiber of our beings to figure out how to do this because we're warm, emotional people. We're used to being close to each other. We're used to being packed into subway cars, and we've had to do the exact opposite.
And you are the exact opposite of being a warm, emotional person.
And figure out how to keep distance. It's not natural for us. It's not normal for us, but you've done it. You've done an amazing job.
Now, here's the big compliment, but...
Now, look, thank you, everyone who's done it the right way, but we still know there's some people who need to get the message. And that means sometimes making sure the enforcement is there to educate people.
And this is where he becomes the Nazi cow of Satan.
And make clear we got to have social distancing. So now it is easier than ever when you see a crowd, when you see a line that's not distanced, when you see a supermarket that's too crowded, anything, you can report it right away so we can get help there to fix the problem.
It's not help. It's law enforcement. It's there to bust up people. It's there to bust up any sort of freedom of expression. It's there as a Communist Party tack to look at your behavior even in a grocery store.
And now it's as simple as taking a photo. All you got to do is take the photo and put the location with it, and bang, send a photo like this, and we will make sure.
And we will send law enforcement right away. Are you out of your effing mind, you psychotic communist piece of shit? Are you out of your effing mind? Is this the new normal? If you think this is the new normal, you need to move somewhere else. This is insane.
That enforcement comes right away. Text the photo to 311-692.
I hope that people text pictures of their middle finger extended.
And action will ensue. Enforcement will come.
Oh, let's hear that again. I think it rhymed.
Make sure that enforcement comes right away. Text the photo to 311-692. And action will ensue.
311-692, and action will ensue. And if it rhymes like a Dr. Seuss story, then that's fine.
Enforcement will come to get the help we need, or you can use the 311 app, send that photo there, and you'll make sure immediately there's follow-up.
Are you ready to live like that? Are you ready to live like that, Alan? And Jeremy and James Picard is watching. Weren't you the commander on the Starship Enterprise? And Debbie, unbelievable. Oh, but it gets worse. How about this? How about drones? How about drones being used? And this is all dystopian, right? Until about a week ago or a month ago. Drones being used by police to look into your backyard when you have friends over to barbecue. Or look at people taking a walk, or look at people walking on a beach. I remember 20 years ago, I was in Minneapolis. My wife and I were taking our dog for a walk. Police officers drove up beside us and went, weep, 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 turned on the intercom and said, leash your dog, and yelled at us. That's nothing compared to what's going on right now in this country. Here is the new normal, using drones to watch everything you do, which reject them and shoot them out of the sky.
Mayors need to be creative. We have to figure out a way to get to people that police cars can't get to.
Elizabeth City Police shot this video for us to show us how drones work. The drones make it easier for police to see into certain areas where access by patrol cars is more difficult. That includes tight spaces between buildings, behind schools, and in backyards.
In backyards, people. Watch this real quick here. This is your backyard. This is you hanging out with friends in your freaking backyard.
Backyards. Failure to comply could lead to a summons or a $1,000 fine.
Shoot that mother effer out of the sky.
You think the drones watching over people is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think at this point, it's worth a try.
I'm thinking anything is fine if it means public safety, even if it means me being thrown in jail like these Chinese journalists that were thrown into jail before. You know what? If you go quietly into the night on this, then you deserve it. You deserve it.
It's an invasion of your privacy.
Thank you.
The mayor's heard it all.
My answer to those people are, if these drones save one life, it is clearly worth the activity and the information that the drones are sending.
If it means saving one life, then surrendering everything that you hold dear, freedom of assembly, the right to privacy, is absolutely not worth it. Then goodbye to the First Amendment. Are you out of your goddamned mind, you effing moron?
The drones donated by DJI, a Chinese company, have gone...
Oh, Chinese company. Well, that's interesting. Wait. A Chinese company interested in surveilling everything you do. That's kind of interesting considering the article I mentioned earlier about Chinese communists and disappearing dissidents.
43 agencies in 22 states, all to help enforce social distancing.
Shoot them out of the sky.
Rules.
You should not be congregating in groups.
Authorities say the drones aren't taking pictures or collecting evidence. It's a high-tech warning against a deadly virus. One of the things Eamon, the authorities here say is that they expect as the weather gets warmer, more people will be out.
Look at this idiot. Look at this moron standing there. There's nobody around her, and she's got a mask on. What an idiot.
Outside, and there's a tendency to group together, and they think the drones will be even more effective, or at least they hope so. Again, as a...
Welcome to state media, MSNBC. Dear God in heaven. Dear God in heaven. The Biosecurity Research Initiative at St. Catherine's College, Cambridge, conservation evidence based in the Department of Zoology, the University of Cambridge, and the Center for the Study of Existential Risk have come up with a list of 275 things you should do to avoid COVID-19 transmission. This is insane. I printed this off. I'll share a little bit. Reduce physical contact, discourage and prohibit physical contact outside the household, develop national registries of essential jobs, create virtual schools to enable education continuation, advise and facilitate minimum movement in communities, require permits, self-declaration forms, or letters of authority to leave the house, with sanctions if not obtained. Limit the distance you can move from your house, 100 to 200 meters when walking dogs, adopted in Italy and France. Discourage or make illegal activities that distract public service or risk distracting public services, banning hunting, surfing, swimming. Use mobile phone tracking to check if restrictions are being followed. Require that workforce do not go out to buy lunch. Enforce minimum spend or minimum items. Encourage people to combine trips to obtain goods. Share surveillance among shops, including CCTV and monitoring people for excessive visits, telling you what you can or cannot buy at the grocery store. Restrict people's ability to buy non-essential or luxury items, including removing them from stock. So taking things away that the government decides that you should not have. That's not necessary. Like in Michigan, where that POS governor has said you can't buy seeds to grow a garden. Close public places of public gathering depending on their importance to society. Degree of likely close physical spacing. Ban public gatherings. Offer bicycles to avoid public transport. This is happening all over the North Korea. It's been a staple forever. limit the number of people inside of shops. Well, this is good. Hold on. Ask people to identify their bubble, being everyone they live with or must have contact with. That's your bubble. You have to identify the bubble so you can know what the government decides is cool for you to hang out with. Use social media to formally ask people to identify their bubble, meaning that you can only hang out with certain people according to the government. Use clear messaging, asking people to observe social distancing. Employ dedicated staff to help people observe physical distancing in queues and enforce norms where necessary. Only allow disabled or elderly people to use elevators. Ban walking on escalators. Separate runners and walkers. If you are a runner or a walker, you have to separate. Discourage unnecessary speaking when forced to be close. Turn on background music in public spaces so people don't have to raise their voices or move closer, and so perhaps to increase transmission. Are you out of your goddamned effing mind? This is nonsense. I would read all 275, but it's so insane that I just can't believe that's being suggested, but it is being suggested, and people are saying, okay, I will do it. Do you want to live like this? The question you need to ask is, do you want to live like this? If you want to live like this, then effing move the F out of this country and go live that way, but I will not. We're never going to recover from this. We're never going to recover from the separation. We're never going to recover from those who say this is okay versus those who don't. We are never going to recover from it. And I mean this. There are people who have gone after the president for everything he does for political reasons. There are people who are saying that this is okay, that this sort of social distancing and all of this and the public health is acceptable, and those who say F no, and they will never recover from this, and therefore this country will be divided. I would love to see the country divided. I really would. I'd love to see leftist socialists go to California, live there, and see how long you last with these rules, because I will not live by it. Shoot those mother effing drones out of the sky. Hello, Marion Thomas. This is funny. Mike Pence. Now, let me show you San Antonio. This is San Antonio. People standing in line and waiting in line for food. People are starving, or at least going without in this country, because the governments are saying you can't buy groceries, you can't get out, you can't run a business, you can't own your own company, you can't go to work. These are people waiting in line for food. Here's a video from the UK Daily Mail. People waiting in line for food, all absolutely avoidable, but the government has done this to us. In the Great Depression, this didn't happen because of the government. This has happened because of the government. All waiting in line for food. This happened in the Jimmy Carter administration for gas. This is what Democrats do. Let's move forward to all these people waiting for food.
Go ahead and go that way.
Waiting for food. In this country, the land of plenty, waiting for food because the government says you can't work. Because the government, look at this, unbelievable. All completely unnecessary and unwarranted. If you go quietly into the night on this, you deserve what you get, but I ain't going to take it. Mike Pence, he attended the graduation ceremony for the U.S. Air Force Academy. This is how they had to sit. Unbelievable. No family was allowed to attend. Here they are throwing their hats in the air like they normally do. Jets flying over. 1,000 graduates of the U.S. Air Force Academy. At least the vice president attended. Normally in the stadium, 46,000 people allowed to sit. Nobody allowed to sit. But the grads were able to attend, and the vice president was able to attend despite all the fear. The fear. Here's the ultimate D word for Richard move. Officials in San Clemente, California, closed its parks and recreational facilities April 1st as part of the state's stay-at-home orders. There's a skate park called Ralph's Skate Park where kids were going there and they were skateboarding and not spreading illness. They were just skateboarding. Well, that wasn't good enough for Samantha Wiley, San Clemente's recreation manager for the beaches, parks, and recreation department. On April 1st, we kind of let it play out to see if users would abide by the closure. During that 2-week period, we saw people to continue to go to the skate park. Groups would gather, kids and their parents. Imagine that. It became a regular occurrence. It appeared that the closure was not being abided by, so what did they do? They filled the goddamn skate park with sand. Kids going to a skate park filled up with sand so they can't go skateboarding. Wow. Samantha Wiley, you need to have your ass voted out of office. You need to go bye-bye, you stupid ass. Dear God in heaven. Unbelievable. I've got another podcast that I want to do, and I'm not going to do it tonight. There is a woman, Tara Reid, who has allegations against the vice president that are founded. And she was sexually assaulted by our vice president, former vice president who is running for President Joe Biden. I'm not going to do that tonight because it's a long podcast, and I want to just leave it as it is. Because there are a lot of people who went after Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Sorry about that. I'm pulling a Joe Biden, but I don't want to get into that tonight because it's a longer podcast that I want to wait for a later date. I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. Hello, Ross, and hello, Douglas. What's up, my friend, and Mary? Look at how many people are joining me tonight. So cool. Couple more things before I go. And I'm not going to do the Tara Reid stuff tonight. I'm going to wait until tomorrow. Officers Carolyn Anderson and Elijah Pardue were trying to arrest a 25-year-old, Quando Johnson, in New York City, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Joaquin Santiago filmed the altercation, said the officers had been looking for Johnson in the station. This guy's a douche. He's a drug-addicted, homeless a-hole. The officers repeatedly tried to push this guy down and tried to restrain him for not paying for fare jumping. And I think you'll be surprised by what this homeless a-hole did to the officer. Actually kicked the police officer into the path of a coming train, but fortunately a train wasn't coming.
I can take pain, girl. Break the leg. Then break the leg. Put your put your foot on my neck. That's right. Break it. Break it.
Good. Break the leg. I'd say do it. Break the leg.
Break it. Pull more pressure on it. You're not breaking my neck good. Break the leg. Put your weight on it. I said, get off.
Hold on. It gets better. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my God,
there we go. Oh boy.
No. Oh my God. This is New York. Oh my.
Fortunately, the train was going in the other direction. And finally, O.J. Simpson has decided to come out of hiding to talk about his life in quarantine. We heard him at a golf course the other day he said he was going a little crazy, a little stir crazy. And when O.J. goes crazy, he kills people. Here he is at home, taking surprisingly well to social media. He was locked up for more than a decade, and now OJ is starting to have a little bit of fun. I don't know if he's done a TikTok dancing video. He might do a stabbing video, but here is OJ, 72-year-old OJ Simpson, double murderer, sequestered at home. Thank you. Weekly World News. Yeah, if he gets too bored, he's going to start stabbing people to death. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Do appreciate. Hello, Ellen. How are you? High school classmate, and Sarah, and Richard, and Jeremy. Appreciate you joining me tonight. We are on two platforms. This, of course, is Rob Carson Show on Facebook, and then, of course, Rob Carson on Facebook as well. I greatly appreciate you joining me tonight. More coming up as the week progresses. But again, today, where I am, I saw to some degree a return to normal, and it should return to normal, and there's no new normal. And if you believe that there is some sort of a new normal, you're high, and you need to go live somewhere else. Because we are going to return to normal. We are going to shake hands again. We are going to do what we did. We are going to go back to concerts. We are going to go to movies. We are going to sit in restaurants at full capacity. We are going to touch other people. We are going to be able to go to second houses. We are going to visit our family. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Why did this ever happen? I said this should never happen from the get-go, and now we are beginning to realize it should have never happened. That said, thank you for watching. Have a glorious evening. God bless you guys. And if you would, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, YouTube at Rob Carson Show. And, of course, on Facebook at Rob Carson Show and Rob Carson. God bless. See you soon.